Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7.
Oh, a fitting face. Hello everyone. We gotta figure out how to change this chat. So it'll be an adventure for us all, I'm sure. No, not that one. No. I want to have everything shown. Oh, there we go. Okay. I guess we'll go to here. It doesn't show your icons though. It's a little... I know multi-streaming. I don't know, it's a new age. It was brought up as a possibility, that something that people might be interested in. So we'll try it out. So like that. Yeah, I have multi-stream chat, so it should show both Twitch and YouTube. Now you have to do it on both platforms. I don't know what this does to the emojis or anything. You're catching me live. I'm gonna teach you how to set up even one chat. Well, my process for setting up the chat, thank you, is not what I would call ideal. Gosh, this is huge. Oh no, the emoji. That's a sad emoji. Can you use my emojis? I don't know how that works. Yeah, I got involved with the Discord map challenge this week. Oh, that one has an emoji. Yeah, well, I was too tired to do it yesterday, so I decided before I do family stuff today, I'll try and get a stream in. Yeah, exactly. It's good luck, have fun. Global League high funds. Sup, gamers. It's very weird seeing the chat like this. The icons just being YouTube rather than your guys' actual little profiles. I don't know. There might be a way. I'll have to figure out if I have a way of giving you a better chat. This might just be the chat that I'm stuck with seeing. Let's see. Well, people show up. I'll just see what kind of options I have. Like a chat box. New chat box. Okay. The chat. First. It would freeze before, yeah. What kind of options do I have? Does this come from both? Theme box. Platform icon. Let's do. I don't know if this takes from both or not. Is it working? Twitch side chat test. There you are. Let's enter the chat. I didn't pick up on the Twitch side chat test. They grabbed the YouTube one. Keep saying stuff so I can see if this works. And then we'll be hopping into the Go7 game. Go7 versus ftiger. Oh, it seems to work. Loud noises. Test 2. Beep boop. Test. Well, it got the order wrong there, but it still worked. Alright, do you guys want to try this out and we'll see how well it performs? It is a fancier looking interface. You ever heard? I have heard the tragedy of Darth Magnus the Wise. My map making natural? I don't know about that. There's 2 chats. Yeah, I can get rid of might be too big. Can I just make this longer? Without. Let's see here. So far, it's performing well. I can change the font size to be smaller. There's the text color. Oops. Oh god. I was looking at options. Maybe you guys would prefer that? I think the box one's the easier to read. What? Is it gone? No! Well, we need to see how it looks when I'm actually doing a game anyway. It's so weird not having the test 5. Okay, it's there. Oh, well, it's because I was checking to see if I could make this taller. Well, I'm not a huge fan of how it's covering up part of the map, even though you can see through it. Flippers are hard to type with. Oops. That should not be movable. Thank you. You think you prefer the blue name? Gotta go, Shadow? Okay. I don't like how it's covering up parts of the map, so I can do that. And then you guys are just kind of up there in the top left. You have to let me know if that's still readable. Move this around, I guess. The chat is huge. Dual stream, yeah, we got the technology. Well, you know what? Maybe what I can do is I can move this. Wrong screen. We can do it like this. I can make chat. And then, hey, come with me. Sit with me. Yeah, over here or something. Then we can make the map bigger. I'm not sure how that looks. At least we can make the map bigger. Probably get away with making it even bigger. That is better? Okay. You guys a tiny bit smaller. I'd like this to line up with this thing. Something like that. And I guess now we're kind of competing with the penguin, but that's okay. You guys can cover up the penguins a little bit. That's fine. I guess I'll move this to be, I sit with me. Oh, sit up there? We can try that out. Map over a tiny bit. More centralized. It is a bigger map. You don't need to see the crown. Yeah. YouTubers are stuck with the boring colored names. Oh no. Make sure to follow the Advanced Wars by Webcon category on Twitch. Okay. So I did have a game finish recently against ftiger, who I think we actually saw a game of last stream. And it was funny because it was basically happening at the same time that I had the game where I was JAvier against the Kindle, and then I got the map again. I was like, you know what? It looked a lot easier on the Kindle side, so I'll try playing Kindle this time. The important thing is everyone is unhappy equally. It's got some fun. Well, it looks like Funlander shenanigans, except you actually have basically no lander shenanigans. You have all these like fake shoals. You start with a lander. There's only one thing this lander can ever do, and that's pick up units from here and drop them off over here after you've killed the anti-air, after you've killed the pipe team, and it's taking them from the one base that has to defend your lab and putting them into the middle. It's kind of a useless lander. I'm not sure why it's here, other than it makes like missile-based powers really sad. And I guess it kind of looks like you came from off screen with the lander and dropped off an infantry. Maybe that's the idea. The one thing I would recommend for Walker is that this lander's here, so they actually look like they dropped off the infantry and they're like starting to colonize these sections. That would be cool. I doubt that change would ever happen. It would be a lot... The lander would be a lot more useful if you could pick up from over here. Yeah. Then you could help support your one base or have a short extra trip into the center. Make it a wraparound. If this got turned into a wraparound map, that would be very scary. Suddenly this lander would be amazing. What you do is you just like make teleport tiles up here or something. Hop off, come back over here. And then you've got a lot of threats on this airport and on this one base. The poor one base. But that's not going to happen. So anyway, JAvier has a really safe comm tower to capture here, and he gets stronger with every comm tower he has. Oops. So that's why the first time I played this map recently, and it was me as JAvier against the Kindle, I went with JAvier because the comm tower is so safe, and there's also some nice artillery setups to try and lock down these cities over here from the one base or attacking with the two base. The artillery can be very nice. Yes, you could really hurt your tempo to hide a unit from global damage. But in that game, and as you'll probably find whenever you play Global League against Kindle or as Kindle, these double cities situations, they are very, very, very good for Kindle. She loves them. Being able to clear a city, like use Urban Blight, it hurts both of the units on the cities, and that lets you clear this city, and then you get to use the city to clear the other city, which you then get to attack from. You get huge value with your power every time, and after that you are dominating two cities instead of just like winning over a single one, so you get nice income leads. It's just really good for Kindle, and on this map, these double cities are the most contested location. So just having that nice strength of Kindle for that is really hard to overcome. In the first case, when I was playing JAvier, I did it by... what did I do? I think I rushed the cities to try and get one really early, and then went with really quick artillery to try and lock them down, and then try and just fight around them while trying to deny them as long as I could, rather than fighting right on them. Because if you fight right on them, then Kindle's just gonna... Whoa, wrong button. Kindle's just gonna crush. Something to keep in mind, and you'll see... oh my gosh, my button's all messed up. There's an important choice here, which you'll see right away as I'm player 2 on this map. You have this infantry, it can go to either base, like this infantry onto this mountain, it can go to either base. There is a base that's a lot better to go to. This base is a lot better than this base. It might at first be like, I don't know which is better. They can both kind of go into the middle. This goes into the middle quicker. There's a little like capture chain you can go towards, and then maybe contest these properties. But the most important thing when you're looking at your early bases is how quickly can you get to your other one. And if you go to this base first, you can hop onto the mountain and go over here. It just takes 2 turns. But if you go to this base first, you are denied by this mountain because it's 2 and then the mountain, so you can't get on top of it. So it ends up taking 3 turns no matter your route. instead of 2 turns, and that's huge. That delays, of course, unit production, but also all of the captures that this base could be responsible for, which is both these 2 and contesting the double cities. So that's some very important properties that you're delaying a whole turn on, as well as hurting yourself unit count wise. So it's a little rude that the map is set up so it's not quite a knowledge test, like a map knowledge test, but it's something that some players can make a very unfortunate mistake on. Ooh, it actually worked for them, Shoop. That's impressive. I would not expect that to work. This base has some very important responsibilities. These central cities kind of don't matter that much, but I guess if you like rush down the pipe seam, maybe that works out nicely. You'll see me try and go for some standard control a bit on this map. You can try, go for it. Shoop's seen some success. I would, if I was playing against them, I would be very happy to see them go over here. The economic lead is nice. So I'm going to be, of course, go for the neutral base as soon as you can. Try and go for these immediate captures. I could if I really wanted to, and it could even be decent for Javier to do, is do a little city skip to rush the center a little bit faster and secure one of those cities right away. I'm not too worried about that because I'm Kindle and I'm always going to have the advantage fighting in the center, or these double cities. But you see, if you capture this city and then just keep walking, the infantry from this base can set itself up to deny you from getting for these captures. But if you walk past the city instead, like you start capturing, don't finish, and go over here a turn earlier, then you would be able to get one of these cities. And that could potentially pay off very nicely in the long run, especially for Javier. And then the one base is kind of this is something I don't know if I really agree with overall, which is using this infantry to not go for the fight in the 2 cities here and instead set it up to go for these captures to relieve some pressure on this base. It's kind of fine, but you could also just use the infantry from this base to go for these captures and let the one base focus more on its immediate stuff. I think either way probably works out. I think I might prefer this base being the one that goes for these captures because they're pretty safe to secure. Here we go. I'm going to use my infantry to strike from the city for the extra city bonus, with the idea being it does. I could do it from like here, right? It might be better to strike from the forest, honestly. But I was thinking if this tank hits me, because if I'm sitting on the city, this tank can strike from the road from by. If that tank hits me, it does force ftiger to use this infantry to stand on this city. Otherwise, I get a Kindle strike my tank from the city onto their tank on the road. No comm towers even. That's pretty devastating. And what that does is it denies this infantry's opportunity to go for this capture. And it starts the fighting really quickly on the one base side. So if I can just end up trading off these infantry for these 2 infantry, and then this lone base is like immediately infantry starved, then I could probably deny this city for the rest of the game, is what I was thinking. But if you're looking at this purely for the tactical efficiency of like keeping your units safe and doing as much damage as possible, then attacking from the forest would make more sense, because then they don't have the setup of the tank smacks you, this infantry stands on the city, and then your tank can't get a great attack on their tank. But I wasn't too worried about that because that wasn't really my goal in that exchange there. I'm more like, if you want to fight at the cities, I'd love to fight at the cities. Slight mistake here, I think, for ftiger. It's fine to go for the comm tower early because the fighting's starting, and JAvier really wants that comm tower. But this infantry should probably go forward because these are going to be really contested properties, and you'll want to have the units there immediately. If you go backwards here, it's not awful to go for back caps, but it does mean that your forward pressure is going to be a lot weaker in the early game, which is oftentimes when contested properties might get decided. And the huge difference between the contested properties is that, of course, they might get contested. These will always be available to be captured. So usually you'll want to rush, especially in the vision-based maps, you'll really want to rush these contested properties because it's a lot easier to fight over a property you already own rather than a neutral property. Because you don't have to worry about trying to capture it, you just have to stop them from capturing it. There you go. Tiger goes there, starts capturing there. That's basically what I would like. I'll finish off that infantry and then I'll strike from this city, and I'm planning to infantry starve this base. A poor lone base, so we'll just keep pumping out the tanks. It does mean I'm delaying these captures for a really long time, which is a little awkward, but I'm not too worried about it. They're waiting for me. Is my thought process. I can take these whenever, right? I can take them after I've denied the central cities. I might end up getting a slight economic hurt out of it in the short term, but in the long term it sets me up to be really advantaged. Because if you can enter into a more stally game state, but you've got all the contested properties, it doesn't really matter if you were behind by a little bit of economy early on, because you'll just have tons of turns where you're up a ton of money. That hasn't moved. So make sure. Okay. Seems okay. Gotta make sure the widget didn't freeze. There's a second base for the infantry to cap those. And yeah, exactly. You'll get there eventually. Okay. I have this capture. I'm gonna get this one unless a tank wants to strike at me from not nice terrain. I get that one too. Start getting these mechs. That's just because I think the mechs are being bought for economic reasons, of course, but also because they are foot soldiers, so they can, in theory, go for captures too. So now I'll start getting my comm tower. I'll start pumping out my copters over here. Copters have this very nice situation. They come out, and then look at that. On the very next turn, they're threatening to strike from a city. You can delete the if you want to, you can delete the black boat so that your copters can stand here. It's here just so you have a one-way door. I think it's because usually this happens because there's a way to deny this base otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7, or would it be like an early tank? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smack. It's probably because there's Sturm might have been available on this map initially, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. The recon just kind of denies you your own base. So when that kind of stuff happens, the kind of band-aid fix is I'll just put a black boat here, so you can still walk through it, but early harassing units can't deny your starting bases. And you can still use it for repairs and stuff. It's not awful. And it's also not too bad to put your battlecopter here, unless you're going straight into the middle, of course. Okay, so at this stage, I'm like, I don't really want to dive in on this nonsense. Copter, we got multiple tanks, we got some mechs coming out, probably more copters. So I'll just chill right now with owning both of these, or one pair of the central double cities, and I can start going for these more safer backward captures that I have delayed. There was the option for me to like move this infantry forward to try and put some pressure over here, but I'm fine with just chilling for now on the city while being protected by, I'm protected by a tank. And then instead of trying to put any pressure on this city, the pressure is going to be put on this city with my infantry here. Copter gets a little smack. The mechs keep a rolling out. But it does look like I'm not going to be able to deny this city in the long term, which is too bad. Another thing that Kindle really likes to do is extend the capture phase as long as possible, because if you can get an urban blight off in the capture phase, it can be very impactful, hitting all the capturing infantry. Hitting them down to 7's really nice, because after they'll take another turn to finish the capture, and then they'll repair up to 9, so they still can't get a 2-turn capture. You can delay stuff a really long time if you get an early urban blight. As Kindle, that's not something that I think we're gonna really see here, but it's something to keep in mind. So I'm taking a more central stance here. That's just to put the pressure on this city and potentially steal it. Here, JAvier is going in for some captures on my cities in the center. Also, the advantage to moving these units off this front into the center is that I can come and help my one base out. And I'm going to do that because I've kind of secured the city I want to secure, and right now, ftiger is just like spamming out mechs, and mechs are really slow. They're not fun to attack into, but they're really slow, so I can kind of move away from them and then just build a new army that can face the mechs out. A normal recon can even get there in time to harass? I'm finally going to get this city, yeah! But you can see I already have a really nice income lead just by having all these contested properties, and it's just going to kind of grow as I kill these backwards caps. So here we're going to go in, smack, smack. Usually, this wouldn't really work. If you're someone that isn't Kindle and you're attacking JAvier on a city, this wouldn't work because the extra plus 10% defense that JAvier has. But because I'm Kindle, and I get that huge plus 40% attack when attacking from properties or urban terrain, I can still do these kind of clears. You can see how, and you can see what I was talking about. No urban blight was used here, but just how effectively Kindle can use these cities. It's like I'll just clear this one, and then I get to use that one to clear the next one, and then I get a nice attack off of that. This artillery is just barely out of range, so it can't help. I'm fine and basically happy to trade foot soldiers out over here because I have 2 bases to produce. They only have the 1. Okay. Keep the 1 tank over here to help protect the anti-air against the opposing tank, and then we've got our nice central captures going on here. This infantry goes for this capture. There's no great way for my opponent to clear this. They can hit it with this infantry, but this mech can't do the follow-up. So it would have to be either copter or tank used in conjunction with this infantry. And so I have copter or anti-air tank all ready to kind of jump on a really nice exchange there, and then I have this tank standing here so that it can't be infantry. Try and clear this guy off. It would have to be a vehicle plus an infantry. That infantry doesn't want to get involved in this. Instead wants to stick on this one base side. But again, you got all these cities available for me to utilize if I want to. And again, the fighting continues over here, right by the double city. Happy days for Kindle. Even getting pretty close to the urban blight. There's now an artillery in place, which is kind of nasty. Double anti-air gets built because Tigers are recognizing that there's triple copter here and a fourth one on the way, and this copter doesn't look very safe right now. Against most COs, your anti-air just kind of kills, but it's JAvier with the extra plus 10% defense. The anti-air can't quite get the kill on an infantry. I'm going to have my land units mostly attack over here to try and stay away from the artillery, and I'll just kind of pick off as much of the anti-copter tech as I can with that poor tank. Rest in peace. So, the copter can strike from the city. And then these guys are all attacking over like this because it overloads this one artillery, which I then smack with a copter. I'm hitting this mech because I want to keep my anti-air as healthy as I can. You can see during all this, I get more captures because I have the back caps to go for. It's not quite a back capture, but it's a safe capture. JAvier does get the tower shield, but there's not going to be that great of attacks available. A lot of the units for me get to stick around. Now, there's still this city I get to use potentially to strike from, but ftiger is backing out from the double city, which is my strongest point for sure. And something to keep in mind when you're fighting Kindles that labs are also urban terrain. I'm not fully awake. I might not be fully awake. I'm doing my best. So I can come in with the tank, smack the mech, and then the anti-air can hit the copter. Like so, and that's pretty devastating for this one phase to deal with. It doesn't have a copter on its way anymore, and I still have a spare anti-air most likely, and 2 more tanks are coming in. So anti-airs can get, or I could get a one-shot here with the anti-air, but especially when you're in the lead, you gotta make sure that you basically assume that all of your rolls are going to be the worst possible luck rolls. So I'm going to send the 1 health copter in to do just enough chip damage to guarantee that the anti-air kills this copter. And then I could have gone for the start the capture on this city, but I figure I can just do that anytime, and I would prefer to weaken the standing army right now. And then ftiger resigns. Down a lot of income. The fighting around these double cities, it's just so strong for Kindle. Yeah, dabbling in the high funds. It's something to keep in mind. Any map that you see twin cities like this, Kindle's going to be really strong. And when you're playing this map, you'll probably fight quite a few Kindles. You might even have Kindle mirrors, and you'll really get to experience the twin cities. But GG. All right. Next we have Alex. Oh, there's more Alexes. Versus... Oh, there we go. An Unfathomed Force. Yeah. keatonfox. I'll keep that in mind. Are you next or... You're 4 down there. Yeah. I will do your game on... I can't do it on Monday. I can do it on... I'll do it next stream. It's Shoop. Nice time to stream for my UK fans. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ooh, we'll get to see 2 Freds. All right, AlexArcanus versus Jastredell is standard. I think this might be a live game. I wasn't checking though. Whoa. Files. Yeah, okay. So this is always a fun matchup. And I think that the artillery are pretty decent on this map. So there's definitely some merit to playing JAvier. The comm towers are also very contestable, which may or may not be a good thing for JAvier. Because if you get 2 comm towers, you basically win the game. But if you lose your comm tower, you basically lose the game. And that's not great. Sasha kind of enjoys the base light double airport situation. Get them just enough more economy to kind of out-copter spam your opponent and the like. And the matchup between these two is pretty nice. Sasha can't really deny JAvier powers for the whole game, but you can kind of shape your opponent's play so they only have their power available on turns that don't matter so much. So unlike in other matchups where you see like Sasha versus Hawke or Sasha versus Eagle or something, or Von Bolt, where you're kind of hitting your normal power all the time, almost on cooldown. Against JAvier, that isn't going to be as much of a case. It's going to be looking at what can JAvier do with the power next turn, and making sure that when the brawls actually start, then you can deny the JAvier powers for the big brawls. Yeah, this is a live map where 20 plus copters died in my live game. Yeah. Okay, this doesn't look like it's a live game. It's just a standard game. AlexArcanus is going to have to be very careful about the comm tower here. Transport could, on the older version of this map, which I think was a high funds map, there was a third base in the back that was an infantry base, and that made the transports pretty good here. But since it's base light and standard, probably going for an APC early might be a little bit risky, as they can kind of rush a recon and answer you pretty effectively. The recons are very strong on this map because there's a lot of nice roads to travel upon. Okay, Jastredell is going to start with tanks. AlexArcanus is also going to start with tanks. As you can see, there's kind of a little bit of a bottleneck with the infantry initially, so you could probably get away with early artillery, depending on where the tanks go. Like, an artillery would not be able to defend down here very effectively, because the tanks go more towards the middle. You could probably get some nice artillery value. These are very contested properties. The like mountain, the properties by mountains on this map are pretty contested, except for this one. But this one, These middle ones, these ones in the corner, this is kind of your most contested properties. So it's nice that Jastredell is getting this one right away. And is even going to get this one, because AlexArcanus is not actually in range to deny this. This infantry would have had to gone here to be able to interrupt this. Well, there's a copter to support this, so it's not like it's going to be something you really want to do. But over here, it looks like Jastredell might have played this map before. We do have a tank already in position to deny this capture. Although it will take a tank shot. It'll take 2 tank shots. Well, just one. It'll take 1 tank shot to do it, because this infantry can stand on this city and start capturing it, which will make it so there's only 1 tile for a tank to hit from. Basically guaranteed, not quite, but basically guaranteed that the tank can escape after interrupting the capture. AlexArcanus is going for the artillery. Oh, I'm surprised that we see Jastredell go for 2 copters up here. There's nothing really for this copter to do other than fight infantry up here. So I would have expected the copter to be built down here while there's all these tanks about. It would also be fine for Jastredell to start going for this capture. This artillery, I mean this copter could just kind of help cover. So it's nice that Alex got this central capture. Ooh, and might even be getting this capture too. Okay, that's very good for Alex. I think Jastredell did have a nice interrupt over here with the infantry going here and then the copter being built with double tank versus double tank copter plus double tank. Looks pretty nice, but as is, now things are looking really good for Alex because the central capture got taken. And of the contested properties, this is probably the easiest one to take because it's really close to the airport. Alex does go for an anti-air, which makes a lot of sense. It's a little awkward for the artillery to be built here and then walk down here. It's like slightly faster than just waiting a turn and building artillery here instead. But sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Do only have a single infantry in range to interrupt in the center right now. Probably okay. These are the most contested. Sure. If anyone was watching the live game I played, I don't think either of these cities ever got captured. Yeah, the penguins. Hi. Double Fred action. Yeah. Fred is the starting infantries that are in place to help balance out turn advantage. And sometimes, depending on the map layout and everything, we'll get to have them facing the wrong way in comparison to every other unit. So these 2 infantry here with the starting infantry. 2 starting infantry. I'm not quite sure if that's needed, but I don't know. There's different turn advantage counters. That seems a little strong to me, but it could just be something special for this map that is needed. Usually it's just 1 infantry. Oh, they might have had it so player 1 starts with 1 and then player 2 starts with 2. I have a whole video talking about the starting infantry. Ooh. That was a very spicy attack from this tank. The copter can just kind of come in and get a fairly free hit here. The anti-air isn't covering, this copter isn't covering. That might have just been a little bit of a mistake. Covering there? No, it's not even covering there. Things gets chopped down to size. Hit from the city. Usually you don't want to trade. Sometimes you do, but usually you don't want to trade tanks for infantry with when you're dealing with captures, because it takes a long time for a capture to pay off for an entire tank. It takes seven turns of making income. And then it's harder to hold the city since you've lost the tank. You played some games against Jastredell. Nice. Okay. Capture. interrupt in the center, as is to be expected. So right now, AlexArcanus is up a whole city. Jastredell has 13. AlexArcanus has 14. This is a very low income map. 14-14 would be the traditional split. Yeah, we do get to kill off that tank, although it's kind of at the cost of maybe both of these tanks. The artillery doesn't cover the copter, and the anti-air don't actually cover them either. So it does look like it's going to be a very cost-effective exchange for Jastredell down here. Ooh, and you can kind of tell that. AlexArcanus is doing okay unit count-wise, but at the end of their turn was actually behind in unit value. That's somewhat to be expected against Sasha because she gets more money, but still not ideal. It's outside the copter range is good out. It's not outside the anti-air range. What? Well, this copter could have just attacked from down here, and then this anti-air can't reach. Might have had a little mistake there, unless Jastredell's trying to sucker in the anti-air so that the tanks can attack it. Decides to go for the market crash now, as to deny the power for this coming fight. I don't know if the power is really that good for this fight, though, so I might have held on to the market crash. So something really important, like going for the comm tower, for instance. Javier just backs off. Do we kill the copter? No, okay. Didn't want to... It can be rough to send the anti-air in and then have it trade for a copter if you don't have another anti-air around. And there isn't another one being built. So this is staying nice and safe. Oof, Sasha's really far ahead in unit value right now. Also gets this city. So something that Javier can do is go heavy into artillery, kind of like what we're seeing right now. And your opponent can't answer it very cost effectively against you, just because your Javier has an extra plus 20% defense against indirect units. So artillery can still be good against Javier. They're just going to be a lot weaker than they typically would be. And that can let Javier kind of be the only one with artillery. Looks to be the strategy that Alex is going for in this game. Okay. Really don't want to lose the comm tower. And, well, it does two things. It helps defend the comm tower, and it's threatening to take these cities, which would be really nice for Alex. Back up. Anti-air covering. There isn't any tanks over here, but we do have an artillery. So, artillery is positioned here. If I double click on it, the red, you can see its range. So it's covering all of the tiles that are available to strike at this capture from. And there's no copter or anything to attack that doesn't get hit with the artillery. Usually you'll just have an infantry go in to do the interrupt until you have enough units to break through and hit the artillery. Whoa. That is a gutsy move. Sends the anti-air in, kills an infantry. It does make it a little bit harder to break this. I think might be what Alex was worried about, like infantry plus infantry on the mountain kills off this infantry, and then the tank hits the artillery as the anti-air, or other infantry goes for this interrupt maybe. That does lose anti-air, which is not a free unit to just kind of give away, especially with the airport right here. I would not have gone for that. I'd be more willing to let my artillery get hit, or just have the artillery in a different spot. Because you can build a copter that covers that turn if that was the concern. There's no anti-air down here. Ooh, okay, so Sasha copters are just gonna have to fight against the Javier copters. We have two captures going on at the same time. The artillery doesn't actually cover that kind of attack. This one got hit, but it can still be used. The tank count, oh my gosh, that tank count is huge for Jastredell down here in comparison to Alex. Very dangerous. We have 2 anti-airs here as well, 3 copters. Ugh. We'll see if Alex can get something done at the top. Huge attack by Jastredell. We do get the tower shield. We'll give Alex +30, +30 for the stats. Very strong units. Very hard to kill. These really nice swings. 2 health infantry should get the interrupt, but it does indeed. But even with +30, +30, I think the anti-airs will still one-shot the copters, so it's going to be a little bit spicy for sure. I do like this copter leaving this front, being like, you know what, I'm kind of needed more down here. And I agree. Both of the captures down here did get interrupted, and it looks like this one's probably going to go through. See how beefy those infantry are. They basically take nothing. Withhold infantry, huh? The steam rise. We need a Twitch mod indeed. No ads allowed, man. Ooh. Triple join. Very important that you hit the capture command before going for the joins, because when you join, you'll wait your... Sometimes that will happen. People will get very sad. But if you capture first, you can join as much as you want. You'll be happy with the pressure. Okay, Alex is ahead in income right now. We got 15 cities to 13, although 2 cities are heavily threatened to be taken. Looks like this one will get stopped, which is nice since it was a triple. I mean, if you're triple join cap or double, it might have been a double. If you're doing multiple join caps, then you only do that if you're going to get the city. Otherwise, you kind of make it a very efficient way for your opponent to kill multiple of your infantry, which is not ideal. Okay. So a lot of great attacks for Alex there. Still a healthy anti-air and 2 healthy tanks over here. So the fight's definitely not over, but things are looking a lot better. And while this city will get flipped, Alex got a city of their own, so the economic situation is kind of just going to revert back to the same number of properties. And so many infantry went down over here for Jastredell that it's going to become really difficult to continue to get any captures going. You get the market crash at this point, like full supercharge. There wasn't a ton of money available though, so not even a full bar wipe. A little spicy to attack the artillery. It does get repairs. There goes some copters. So many copter strikes, and all of the healthy anti-air are gone. I'm surprised Jastredell did not build an anti-air to help over here. Now these JAvier copters are going to pretty much do whatever they want on this front, while Jastredell is kind of attacking into them. I would not build a copter up here for Alex. I think he just built an anti-air. There's no huge rush to be fighting over here. There's no infantry yet in range of going for captures that's healthy. And there's an anti-air here. So copters, double copter anti-airs over here. Copter's not a great buy to deal with that. Okay. Infantry even backs off. That's another. I probably would have had at least one infantry placed in range to go for this capture, so there's a little bit of pressure for Alex to get something over here. But backing off over here is a good idea for sure. Anti-air is built way over here. I don't know what's going on with that. There's an anti-air. Again, it's built from this base instead of this base. I guess the copters have left over here, so that's okay. I don't usually like it when units kind of smush themselves up against the edge of the map like this, because it halves their map presence. If you look at this artillery, all of its movement going down and to the right doesn't matter, so it's only basically got a quarter of its typical movement range. You just got a Global League Tier 1 match on this map. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah. Okay, copter goes. Almost a trade for copter for copter. It's definitely an overextension for Alex to fight in airport range, but that copter got a lot of value before it got taken out, so no harm, no foul there. Anti comes down here. It even covers this capture, which is very, very good. We have a nice little wall of infantry. The strength of the wall is always dependent on how good the very ends are. And in this case, one of the ends of the wall is the end of the map, which is really good. It's hard to get better than that. And the other one is this tank, which is out of range of the other tanks, but not the copters. No, it's out of the range of getting hit by 2 copters. So this looks like a very nice wall. There is a 5 health infantry, though. That it's not as good as a 4 health infantry. It's a 5 health infantry, so we can try and sacrifice in somewhere. Go here, and if it's a low health 5 and low rolls or something, then it can knock this guy down to a killable range for a tank or something, and then the wall can get broken. If this was a 4 health infantry, it'd be a whole different story. You could just go in, basically guaranteed to die, hit this down to 8, taken out, tank finishes off that infantry, and then the wall's broken. Ooh, anti-air can't quite reach. Not as good to do it against the infantry on the city. It does delay the capture, but the wall won't get broken because the infantry on the city's got that extra defense. Okay. Whoa. Why market crash? Alex has no charge. That might have been a misclick. Unless it was just for the +10 stats. Nothing's going to happen since Alex is going for property advantage right here. Copters do switch off or switch over here. Might be trying to get essential presence. There isn't quite for defending this property. There isn't quite the risk on it yet, or they might be just getting front switched over here to try and defend this much more extended capture. Jastredell is not really interested in fighting for that. There is this nice artillery locking it down, so that might be why. He did join cap this. I don't think that was probably needed. I would have just stuck with the 9 and then not lost an infantry to go for the join cap, but we get the city either way for Alex. Things are starting to look pretty good. 15 properties to 13. Okay. A little staring match going on. And then staring matches, indirects tend to really make their presence felt. Like so. I'm not sure about that tank attack, but okay. Helicopters go in. The anti-air can hit one of them. I guess the tank goes here, so it's harder for this infantry to die, and then the anti-air hits this copter, and then the tank hits the artillery, is what Alex was worried about. Because right here, what you would like is the anti-air hits a copter, and then the artillery just basically kills the anti-air, and then the rest of the copters run wild. Oh, is it the screen chat? It is frozen. No. It did so well for so long. Can I save it? If I go in here. I must save you. Why do you like this? Maybe it's... No. I don't know if that was better. I think it does. I think it was worse. Now my crown's actually a problem. Whatever, man. Gucks. Gonna restart this game. No, chat offline. It's okay. It's okay. I can bring back the old chat if we need to. It looks like I don't have a... Maybe there's a way in the future. Oh, I don't like how these names aren't lining up. Maybe there's a way I can get a chat that can still retain your little icons that you had, but that's okay. Going back into it. Anti-air goes in. This is where the artillery can shoot the anti-air. Tank goes down. Looks like Alex is going to get this city very nicely. Jastredell kind of needs to use the market crash here, but can't because we unfortunately went for the buys first. Oh no! Market crash. Basically nothing gets drained. That's classic. Classic sad Sonya right there. Market crash is based on how much money you're holding. It drains a charge proportional to that. So if you spend your money before going for your market crash, you will end up draining very little, and then they will get their power against you. It seemed to work well. Let Go7 cook. Went for the artillery. Wow. I would have thought that would go to try and finish off the anti-air. I think there's a chance that can. Hitting the artillery is a little weird to me because it's not actually doing anything right now. And JAvier is already really resistant to them anyway. So out of all the targets for the copter to go after, that seems like the weirdest one. That was a really nice turn. Now Alex is at 16 properties against 12. And there'll be a whole other turn of just having those increased stats. You can see how nice those are. So hard to kill off these units. And this is why it tends to be the JAvier is the one building most of the indirects, because artillery fires against a chipped JAvier tank on the road with the JAvier power up, and it will do 2 damage. It is still enough so that the tank goes down, though. But you better believe that when this JAvier tank fire or artillery fires, it's going to do a lot more damage. The opposing tank on the road. Ooh. Decides to fire on the anti-air. Okay, that's fine. There's a copter. There's the airport here, of course. copters. Anti-air. The other artillery. Down goes the copters over here. And then again, this is what I call winning by composition. You kill off all their anti-airs and then your copters are completely unanswered. You can also kill off like all their tanks and then your tanks are basically unanswered. There's a few ways to go about it. But that's why you usually see a lot of tank copter compositions. Well, I didn't, yeah, a Saturday stream. I didn't give you guys a Friday stream. And Jastredell resigns. GG. I think Jastredell was a little bit favored at the start, but the engagement down here and the missing of the charge control really hurt. GG. We have Halldrada. What? They misspell them? Uh-oh. Who are they against? 13. What? Did I misspelling Halldrada? Oh, it's Halldrada. That's why. Halldrada. I just can't read. Slightly different layout here. The bigger map. Yay, success. Okay. Comet. Right, alright. This is a nice classic. This used to be for High Funds Fog, if I remember correctly. And then that map, it was like huge copter spam. So it's kind of similar like that in regular fog. The airports are still pretty nice. This one's really forward, but still kind of far enough away that your opponent can't easily lock it down. And this one's very safe out on the water. So you will tend to see quite a few copters. Another thing is that you'll usually get an early artillery to break this pipe seam and unlock your third base. Because while you can like build an infantry, hop into your black boat and start capturing it right away, it's still kind of locked down. I mean, you still do that for sure, and then you kind of use this base as an infantry-only base for a small bit, using the black boat to go for captures, and then the indirect will break this pipe seam, and then you can start building other units and have other ways of moving out across the map with your third base. So usually that does kind of transition to having artillery with your armies, and there's some nice forests over here that kind of look over important properties. So the artillery will like to camp in that. There's going to be a lot of harassment that can happen on this kind of side base with the mountain here, because it makes it easy to wall off captures and the like, especially with a black boat, because this is actually shoal connected to the ocean tiles. And these harbors are all completely surrounded by shoals. That means if you build anything other than a transport type of naval unit, that it will be locked in there. They can only move over ocean tiles. If you build a sub or a battleship or a carrier, you can do that, but they can't move off of the harbor. So what that does also mean, oh, this one you could though. Hey, you can build a little battleship and stuff over here, but you can't make it to this one. So if you build a sub, and we have seen this in the past sometimes, you can build a sub and then have it dive on the harbor, and the only thing that can hit that is a cruiser or another sub, and those cannot reach because of the shoals. So they'll make the harbor completely uncapturable. It does mean that you invested 20,000 funds into making it uncapturable. But, you know, in 21 turns, it will have paid itself off. You know. In a length of time that's longer than most games, it will start netting you money. Unless they, I mean, I guess it's double that rate if it's making sure they don't capture it. Then it only takes 10 turns. It is a good scout too, because if they capture it, that's a 2k income swing. You get one less and they get one more. So both players do go for immediate base capture. Like so, the black boat moves out. Get a nice little boost. This is some high level tech. Look at that. You build the transport copter, you can hop in, get boosted out, and it lets you go for this capture faster than you would if you were just walking. It's pretty nice. For anyone that's not familiar with Advanced Wars by Web, but familiar with Advanced Wars, in Advanced Wars by Web, unloading is a free action. So you can hop into it, and at any time the transport can just unload the unit. We call that boosting when the transport copter hasn't moved yet or has already moved, and then you hop in and hop out. You like this? We got the copters unloading the black boat boosts as well. Nice. I think what they're talking about there is that you can hop in and you can drop off here, which puts you in 3 of hopping into a black boat and getting moved over here, or you can go over here, drop off. The same thing with this one. Dumb feature. It's a bug that has been adopted as a feature, and I think for purists it might seem a little dumb, but when you're actually playing the game, it does. Playing it purely as, I guess, Advanced Wars rather than just Advanced Wars by Web rather than just Advanced Wars, it does make the capture phase with transports way better, and personally I'm a huge fan of it. As you can see here, it's set up for multiple captures. It is a lot better for these like large maps. That it's a lot less likely that you'll start getting early harassments, but you can, you know, large maps are like double-edged swords. It's harder for your opponent to harass you, but if they are harassing you, it's also harder for you to be defending. So you can, instead of trying to go the huge transport route, you can try and go early recons and get a lot of success and shut down those transports. Personally, I would have loved it if they had included boosting as a mechanic in the boot camp, but it's too bad. They didn't. They did do some stuff that's cool though. Like they made labs give income but no defense stars. Which is nice. So it looks like we're starting. The confrontation will start soon. We have an early recon here from Halldrada to kind of see where is the opponent developing units and whether or not they have transports. Because when you, depending on how well you know the map, you can tell how your opponent's been opening transport-wise or non-transport-wise, depending on where the units are. You'll be like, oh, they couldn't actually get there at this time very easily unless they were boosting or transporting units around and stuff like that. Sami/Drake has some really fun / annoying pre-deployed black boat shenanigans, huh? Do Hawke recons get any notable hits with the extra +10? Well, it does mean that they're, I think, guaranteed to get over a damage threshold. Let's see if I And because it's like they're starting with a comm tower. Just need a map. So bring up calcs. So the nice thing, the Hawke. Infantry, that content. So 53 to 60, so you're guaranteed to knock them down to at least 5. You have a chance, a very slim chance, a 1 in 10 chance of knocking them down to 4. If you were someone else, it's 49 to 55, and you have that 1 in 10 chance to knock them down to 6 instead of 5. And that also sets up to make it guaranteed that recon plus infantry will clear an infantry off the city. So there are some nice bonuses there for the Hawke recons. It's also going to be stronger when attacking infantry on other things, but it's most notably when you're attacking infantry on those cities. You play the game where your opponent skipped his neutral base to rush the airport on your side. Oh, that's pretty fancy. Did they get it? Rushing this airport. That's pretty nasty. I guess it would only depend on what you do with your BlackBoat. Comm tower coming down. And Hawke really enjoys the comm tower, because if you have 20% firepower, which is what everyone wants to get, you will always guarantee to clear same type units, or most of the same type units. So like 2 infantry will be guaranteed to kill an opposing infantry on a city. If you only have the plus 10% firepower, it's about a 30% chance to get the kill. So it's a huge deal to hit that 20% firepower threshold. Hawke gets there. One of the nice strengths of Hawke, just requires the 1 comm tower to get there. In this case, it's a Hawke mirror, so both players are going to be able to do that as much as they want. But we have a base skip here in order to get this copter. Hawke mirrors in general, though, are not a lot of fun to play, and that is because, hey, the pipe seems broken, but we don't see it on this turn. That was updated, but maybe not. The Hawke mirrors are not a ton of fun to play, because when it comes down to using your power and superpower, it enters into kind of a game of chicken. They build a battleship and could kill your base's BlackBoat. Wow. Because if you use your Hawke power and you hit all of their units for 1, and then you do kind of a heal on all of your full health units, it doesn't matter too much, they can respond by using their Hawke power, or super, either way, and they heal up all of that damage you did to them, and they deal it to you, and now you don't have your power anymore to heal up, so you're just left in an awful situation if you are the one to use the power second. Great clears by 13 here. And what that means is that neither player wants to use their powers in the mirror unless they're able to do just like a ridiculous amount of damage to the opponent's units, or like kill off a bunch of units because of it. And that can feel really miserable. because one of the nice things about Advance Wars, get the Copter Strike. This is pretty risky Copter Strike, but it's going to work out. The anti-air was actually good. One of the nice things about Advance Wars is that the powers work as a comeback mechanic, since you get more charge from taking damage than dealing it. But suddenly, that comeback mechanic part doesn't exist. It's like, oh, I got my power first, whoop-de-doo. If I use it, I'll just start losing harder. And I think that also forces players to play extra safely. Because you can kind of snowball into defeat. 13 doing a really great job. These properties were already captured for Halldrada. So 13 was a little bit behind there, but securing this one, interrupting over here. Does have the anti-air over here to help cover against this copter. I don't like that these copters have been kind of for both players, kind of thrown out there. It's always a huge risk. Copters cost the most out of the 3-unit triangle of anti-air, tank, copter, and are the ones that get hit the hardest. So it's really risky to have them be the leading unit in comparison to like a tank. If an anti-air hits them, they just die. If an opposing copter hits them, they don't just die, but they get hit really hard, as you can see there. And especially early on, that can be a devastating loss to your composition. Smack. Ooh, the anti-air can still reach. Halldrada can try and block, although Halldrada doesn't know about the anti-air, but you've got to have an inkling that your opponent's got anti-air. Especially if you've been attacking with copters for a couple turns. Artillery is guarding this copter, but it's not guarding this one. It's probably okay. There are lots of tanks here to try and kill off the anti-air if it goes for copter smack. Continues to deny this one. Kind of set up to go for the capture on it now. There it does come in. Smack. Mech backs off. Wow, okay. Well, that makes the anti-air attack not nearly as good, because now there's not great units covering it. And trading an anti-air for a copter in the middle of the map it's kind of a wash. Anti-air costs 1k less, but it has to be built from a base rather than an airport, so you tend to go down in unit count when you trade that, just because bases build almost every turn, or at least they try to, while airports don't do that. So if you trade a airport unit for a base unit, you tend to go up 1 in unit count, because you like built an infantry that they weren't able to build. Anti-air survived. I'm surprised. I would have probably tried to kill that off. Especially if you have other copters around. Killing off the anti-airs can be huge. No, low health copters that are pretty good for this. They're very nice for scouts. You're not really that sad if your 1 health copter dies. They got 3 vision. It's not bad. They don't care about terrain, so they can really zip around. Give you some nice information. They make for pretty terrible wallers, though. If they're at 3 health, they can wall fairly decently against land units. They take at least 2 hits usually. But a 1 health copter will just kind of die to everything. So a lot of pressure here on Halldrada from 13. Like this city, it's a little in danger. This one's being captured, covered by an artillery. Very nice. This one's getting captured. Ooh, we did go in. The artillery was known about, I think. Did go in. Did the tank get trapped? Oh, the tank got trapped. Oh no. This is going to be a very nice turn for 13 here. The artillery fire on a tank. Secure some cities. Don't do that. But much better to just use this 9 health tank rather than the anti-air. There's an airport right here. You need to keep the anti-air safe. I mean, there is a backup anti-air. It's not that bad, I guess. But it's still pretty rough. Artillery covering, maybe it's okay. Would not recommend though. 9 health tank would be a lot better at doing that. Smack. For artillery. It was join capped. So it needs to be hit for quite an amount to deny it. Okay. Anti-air lives, artillery lives. This one does die. We have the backup anti-air here. It's going to have some nice targets. The 3 health anti-air is probably enough to go after this 4 health copter anyway. So you're kind of okay with that. You do see that both players have their super now. So they've officially entered into the game of chicken. You get the city. 13 is now at 3k income lead. Halldrada had been ahead for a while there. Some nice infantry attacks over here. Anti-air does finish off that copter. We have a bomber built last turn. Pretty spicy. Gotta be very careful with your bombers. They really don't want to get hit by stuff. Hawke can heal units, but it's not like Andy levels. With Andy, bombers are really nice because the anti-airs can't one-shot them. They can like run up him down to 1 or 2, and then you get a ton of charge. You can pop your super and heal back up and everything. There's never enough anti-airs. Yeah, that's why you gotta be really precious with them. Because otherwise you'll get those unit composition wins will just kind of knock you out. The airports are right there. They're just waiting for you to be out of anti-air. And that's what's about to happen for 13 on this front. I imagine. Or maybe this anti-air gets to be survive. Talker finishes off. Okay. That city is probably going down. Great vision for 13. Really like having centralized recon on this map. If you can sneak a recon like this for us, that's huge. Just even if you don't see their army, just knowing that their army isn't there, or getting to see where the troop movements are going, it's really nice. It does survive at 1, but okay, we have some infantry ready to go for these captures. The black boat can also be used very aggressively as a blocker. They're hard to kill off. Like, bombers can do it, but like bombers and mega tanks can one-shot them, but most land units can't do it. Most air units can't do it. So you can come up here, especially if you stand right here with the black boat as you go for the capture on the harbor, for instance. That makes it really annoying to interrupt, because if you're coming from this direction like this tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it can't even go into this forest. There's no chance. It goes from being able to interrupt to having no chance to interrupt. So a very nice spot to keep in mind if you ever try and take that harbor. And the same thing when you're going for like this capture. The harbor, the black boat stands here, and vehicles, like, they have to go all the way around. And even infantry are slowed down by the mountain. I like that that Halldrada is going for these attacks down here. The infantry are a little bit slow, but they're on their way to go for these captures. But if you're given the choice between like attacking forward like this and going down towards properties you want to capture while not overextending, you always go for this. It's kind of like free kills. The mountain penguins. Yeah. Penguin infantry on mountain also have nice 5 vision, and they can give you a ton of information. That's one of the reasons why you won't see too many mountains on fog maps. It can be really powerful to just kind of have your foot soldiers walk on them and spot everything. Black boats can also not heal, but they can repair a unit for 1. So in this case, I probably wouldn't send my black boat back. I'd be having it with this army. Set up so it can like start healing tanks. It can heal battle copters. It can heal infantry, and it can block for these captures on the harbor. It's a little gutsy to start sending the black boat back on home when the push is really important here. If there wasn't a push going on, then you can definitely send it back to be like, I want faster reinforcements. But otherwise, I would just use it on the front lines. Okay. Again, kind of leading with the copters. In this case, it's not so bad. It's really most likely that the anti-air would be coming from this direction, so having like tanks in the way is nice. I would not recommend just kind of making a line of tanks here to be smacked. Ooh, okay. So we're going for the Black Storm. So as long as this might like allow for wall breaks and stuff that could be devastating. As long as it does enough damage, particularly if it gets a bunch of unit kills, it's huge. It's looking pretty good right now. I'm kind of surprised we didn't try and use the 9 health infantry to go for this, and then the full health infantry can try and put some pressure by going for the harbor. But I guess it doesn't really matter by going for the harbor, just because when Halldrada uses the super back, the capture will get interrupted. So maybe just using the 9 would be fine. Go for the harbor and threaten the 3 turn. Oh, looks like it did provide a wall break. This is looking like a good Hawke super. See all of the kills that happen, which means that when the opposing Hawke uses the super back, these units are not going to be getting healed up. Oof. It might be worth to hit an 8 health tank rather than finish off the 1 health there. But it's still nice. It's like going to 3 is not that big of a deal. I mean, that was probably definitely that was a good time to use a Hawke super in the mirror. Definitely first you use the super, pop, heal up all the damage you took, deal all that damage to them, get to finish the capture. I think this front's still going to be fine for Halldrada, but this one looks like it's just going to collapse. We'll see, though. We want to start attacking backwards with units. Like maybe the tank goes up here, hits this one, or hits this one or something. A lander by. Whoa. So, usually lander buys are done when the game's a little more stalled out, because they do set themselves up for future turns where they can transport units really efficiently. Like picking up a vehicle from here and dropping it off down here is a lot faster than walking around like this. They do also hurt your immediate unit value. And when the opponent is kind of pushing forward, it's already shortening the distance that your units are going to have to travel. So you'd prefer to have special combat units. What was the unit count before? We can check. So it was 36 Halldrada units to 40, and at the end of that turn, it was down to 24. So 12 kills, killed a third of Halldrada's units there. That's a lot. It's probably more like half of the front units, because there's all these units in transit as well. Okay. Still no anti-airs. I don't know what's going on with that. Really like the fall back here for 13, especially if you're up in the income. The other front's looking so good, there's nothing really to worry about. This capture is started by Halldrada. It kind of took a long time, so the copter can just kind of interrupt that. Would have been funny if there was a black boat sitting here, though. Okay. Falling back. Trying to build up the reinforcements over here. Like Halldrada, or not Halldrada. 13 could probably have gotten away with building a lander for this front, because the attack is so slow. And maybe this lander is going to still be quick enough. You can see the black boat trying to get in here. It does get to repair before the capture command, which is nice. Okay, what is Halldrada going to build? You build like a neo tank? Just tanks? Usually if you do the lander play like this, you build slower units. So you really like the tank can be built here and it can fly around. Same with this guy. Like the tanks are really good being built out over here. Build artillery, build medium tanks, or something that's really impactful like a neo tank that you want to get there. As many funds as you can, as early as you can to the front lines. You can even build a mega tank. They will really benefit from the lander. The copter swing. There's anti-airs over here for Halldrada. We have 113 now. It will be very valuable. Yes, the airport right here is definitely building non-stop. I'm not quite sure what this bomber's plan is, but something the bomber can do is it can kind of fly up here, help on this front. I'd probably chill it back here and have the black boat repair it up. As is, it just inched a tile forward into anti-air range. There's no recon though, so it probably isn't going to get shot down. It's got the fog to defend it. I mean, if the tank like hits here, it'll get spotted. I don't know why you would attack from the bridge, but... Oh. Okay. Halldrada would have been kicking themselves if they had seen the bomber with a unit after moving the anti-air. But it's okay, it's okay. Smack a mech. After the 4 tanks. Bomber might go after the anti-air. If it does so, I would like it to attack from here, yeah. No, it's not. Okay. We're doing fine. Even this guy's not even range. Okay, now the bomber goes up here and gets repaired by the black boat. Okay. This black boat got trapped! It can't get away! The unit count is still heavily in 13's favor. That tends to be a really difficult metric to shift, because you're really bottlenecked with how many units you can produce based on your production facilities. Whoa! Black Storm at the end of the turn? Killed that infantry? Well, this is a great... I mean, if this isn't a resign, this is a great showcase as to what the difference between the two supers are. Okay, so... I don't know if that was a misclick or what. So... before the super, Halldrada is at 122,000, heals up 7,000, and 13 is at 154,000. So it takes almost like 30,000 there. It was a pretty good swing. And then 13 is going to use the super back. It's going to heal up all that damage. Yeah, I mean, that's a heal for 30,000, deal 30,000-ish. That's a big swing. It goes from 122 to 154 to 157 against 122. They just swapped army values just like that. And then the attacks happen. A lot of the copters do survive over here. Why did that tank sacrifice itself? That better not have been, I'm going to use my 3 health tank to try and save my 3 health tank moment. Yeah, okay. And now at the end of 13's turn, it's almost double the unit value. It's kind of nasty. I mean, the game was already in 13's favor. But that's what I was talking about, how the comeback mechanic is kind of gone in the mirror. That was like a desperation move from Halldrada. And you just don't have it anymore for the Hawke mirror. It makes your life really sad. And at this point, it's going to be mostly just clean up. This comm tower is going to fall soon. The bomber's clearing pipe seams. Well, Halldrada might think that's a second bomber. That's true. Not injured. But at the same time, Halldrada is going to be like, where is the other one? So maybe just thinks he got prepared. There isn't a unit to start capturing the... there isn't a full health unit in range this turn to start going for the comm tower. But next turn, they will. Attacks go in there. We're at 17 units to 41. There's the resign. GG. 826. So if you built a sub, if Halldrada built a sub on this harbor, it would have almost paid itself off. GG. It's a tough matchup. It's quite the map though. You get to see there's a lot of like French switching that goes on and everything. Played. Okay. We can probably get one more game in. Well, that's gonna be one that's got like an accent. Superior, yeah, there's the accent. Black boat. No, No, Flower Trading Association. This is a tournament game. There we go. We were just talking about this map on the podcast with Bum, Minute and Bum. I'll make Sonja the Superior. Come on. I don't know what I got. Comment. So this is a fun map, huh? You've got these two black boats chilling in the central pond. You've got its base light. This base is responsible for quite a bit. This base is responsible for quite a bit. I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast. So something to keep in mind about this map is at first it might not be very evident, but this is an HQ race map. This HQ is like impossible to defend. I was just talking about like this base, both these bases are responsible for a lot. And one of the things that this base is responsible for is defending this HQ. And a lot plus also defend the HQ is an impossible task. So this base will almost always overrun any defenders in this area, especially if they're trying to contest the comm tower, and they can just kind of rush this HQ that's pushed against the side of the map, which makes it very hard to interrupt. This is indeed an Elise map. So it's just something you gotta keep in mind, is while it doesn't initially look like it might be an HQ race map, it is an HQ race map. There's a lot of central shenanigans that you can get up to with these black boats. And this base does have a very early decision to make. It can go backwards to like get a fast airport. It can go over here for some nice juicy immediate captures. It can go up here to go for these captures along the side and start moving towards the HQ. It can go for like some central captures, go for the comm tower quickly. There's a lot of options. In this case, Sonja the Superior decides to go for the faster money. And Matemon agrees. This is also a Drake versus Andy matchup, which is a classic matchup, at least in Fog. It's kind of like a game of chicken, like the Hawke Mirror one is, but not quite so toxic. Both the normal power and the super power for both players, for both COs, get a lot of potential use in the matchup, because Drake's trying to use the powers in ways that kill off Andy's units, and Andy tries to use the powers in ways to get like either heal off Drake powers, of course, or take key points on the map. Throw back to the Stalingrad video, yeah. Get the tank out of this base. See that these black boats can be really annoying. They can do exactly what they're doing right here. So you would normally think that an infantry on this base, it finishes its capture and then it's threatening to interrupt any capture on this city, but it's not, because this is double mountain it would have to walk over, so it can't do that unless it's Sturm. It would only have this path over the shoals, and the black boat can just sit in this corner or here. It has two options. It can sit in the corner or here and make it so this infantry can no longer interrupt this capture and get a nice little guarantee in there. So Sonja the Superior is going for faster money, and it looks like Matemon is going to go for faster comm towers. I think that's probably to be expected in this matchup, because Drake wants the comm towers way more than Andy. Andy mostly wants Drake not to have comm towers, just so units live more and you get those heals. This is a really nice city skip, by the way. The two units because it also sets, like, you get both of these cities sooner. You're closer to the HQ to be really annoying and threatened there. You're also setting yourself up to have this guy go for this city and this guy threaten, harass this city. It's a nice. And the Black Boat's standing here and making sure this tank can't interrupt. Although I don't know if the tank really wants to interrupt the mech anyway. So Drake got this comm tower completely uncontested. And that's another thing you can do with these kind of heavily overloaded bases. You can be like, I'm just not going to contest that area and really focus on the areas I want. Very good interrupt here from Matemon. There's nothing backing this up. So kind of a free capture. Whoa. I don't understand this move though. I guess the fear was like, if I go for this capture, then this guy's going to interrupt itself and strike from the missile platform, which is kind of nasty. This guy just wants to be around to help contest this. I'd probably still go down here. No, I think I actually changed my mind there. I think I like Matemon's move just because there's this extra infantry. So if this guy will interrupt this capture to interrupt either of these captures, and this guy just follows up with this one, and this guy's get down here. So you're not really denying your opponent any income by doing that. But if you deny this city, you are, and it sets up for this infantry to go for this city if this guy just kind of runs away. Although, I mean, this guy's now set up to strike from this mountain, so it is what it is. One tank over here. One tank. Both central cities. Sometimes some of these get like denied or stolen, but not in this game. They both are chilling. Got large tank count over here. A large tank count in response from SonjaTheSuperior. I'm kind of surprised that SonjaTheSuperior has invested so many tanks over here. It might have been better to just try and sneak out a medium tank, specifically as Andy. But I do like how this attack went down with keeping the injured tank back here, so it's probably going to survive to be repaired. Welcome back, Fluffy. Are you enjoying Twitch more than YouTube chat? Sup. Okay, hit the mech. Can kill off one tank, but can't kill off two. Whoa. Yeah, does kill off the tank. Okay, good. Ooh, this mech does get to strike in here. So this is almost looking like the opportunity for Andy to use the normal power. Lots of tank fights, and the mech that's injured at 7. Andy does kind of like mechs because it's a little bit more durable than infantry. Yeah. So when Andy I don't know if we're going to see that. It looks like we might not. When Andy uses a normal power against Drake, it's with the idea of you're going to use another normal power after Drake hits you with a super to heal off that damage. Looks like SonjaTheSuperior is not going to go down that route, though. That's okay. It's a complete option as to whether or not you would want to do that. It would just make this combat even more devastating, but that might be just committing too much to it and not needed. Twitch should have the queue list. I don't know, it had me input the description. You're only here for the blue name. Well, you're also in the Discord. You can just look at it. I haven't done anything to the Twitch page, so I have no idea what it looks like. Ooh. Matemon's the one that go for the medium tank. That's a little bit of a surprise. I wouldn't have expected Drake to be the one to try and force a tech up. just because one of the main responses to a tech up is a tech up of your own, and Andy likes being teched up a lot more. Just because those units, you know, when they take damage, they give you more charge and they're harder to kill. But there are a lot of plains here and forests, and if it's raining, the medium tank would be really hampered. Oh, okay, so there was a response of a tech up. It was just artillery and then a tech up, as we have the Neo tank on the field. No air. No, we have one copter from both players. 2 copters from Drake. Very little air units. Few. This is where you start seeing the HQ race component happen, right? Look at these units. They're really close to just diving on this HQ. These units are pretty close to just diving in on this HQ. There's this huge divide of the mountains. And it's really hard to front shift through the center with the black boats able to stand in your way. You're here for the blue name, I see. Right, the Neo tank's gonna come down. Infantry aren't in range yet to go for the HQ. Okay, it's a nice position with this artillery. Medium tank can't reach. It's guarding everything that the medium tank can really attack. Okay, so the Superior is not really interested in trying to force an HQ race. Falls back and wants to stall it out a tiny bit. Stall out's not right. This isn't really stalling. In general, the person who's winning the fights and has like an income lead and everything, or feels the most comfortable in the game, is the one who does not want a HQ race. You want an HQ race when you're losing the game, and suddenly like so many units no longer matter. And Matemon right now is actually looking pretty decent. It's up 2k income. Does go for the Typhoon, so the Typhoon is gone for to get unit kills. Kind of like the Hawke super. Looks like the Neo tank is gonna survive though, so I don't know about this Typhoon. Yeah, I'm not very impressed with that Typhoon. It does have the artillery stand here. It also makes it rain, which means all the vehicles are being slowed down in both the plains. All the ground vehicles are being slowed down in the plains and the forests. The air units aren't, the infantry aren't. But the ground units are. We do go for the hyper upgrade. Whoop, heal up all that damage. It does decide to use the tank to kill off that medium tank. Does suck up an artillery shot here unless this gets cleared. I don't think it can be, right? Because this is too long. Yeah, so it'd be 2, 5, 6, 7. So even with the +1 movement, you can only make it to this tile. 2. You'd have to go this way. It'd have to be like 2, 4, 5, 6. Because this is 8. I can just click on the tank and you can see. So the way it works is for treads and wheels, I do believe, plains and forests cost 1 more movement. For snow, forests don't cost 1 more movement. There is a strength terrain against ground vehicles in comparison to snow. Your tank lives. Fluffy switching between the chats. Oh, there's Fred. Fred's still living. Fred's at full health. Okay. That's a pretty painful super exchange there for Drake. Probably not even worth it to fire on this Neotank, honestly. Because the artillery just gets picked off for it, and the Neotank is just going to go repair. Still covers all these units. Doesn't cover this tank. It's covering a lot of units. The artillery does get bopped. The medium tank doesn't quite deal with this medium tank. At this point, it kind of looks like SonjaTheSuperior is just going to win. This is a very well defended HQ at this point. Matemon's gonna have to go for like some all-in Drake normal power move, as I was gonna say, but the units aren't close enough to make that work. Not a great move. It does drain the fuel, which is really annoying. But Andy can just use the normal power. Like, you might think, oh, I hit your units for 1. It denies, like, 4 captures or whatever. It's just 3. But Andy can just use the normal power first. And then get all the captures. Ooh, we had an ABC ready, too. So heal up. Now suddenly these aren't interrupted. Captures go through. 4K income lead, looking pretty nice. The medium tank got a first strike here, but is covered by an artillery. The copter is covering against this copter. Anti-air is here. Revenge hit, I guess. But it's like gonna be a revenge hit into artillery. This looks super GG. We do have a mega tank. Big time desperation unit. Andy mega tanks tend to be a lot better than other people's mega tanks, but this is a Drake mega tank, so we'll see how it goes. But we have a mega tank to respond to the mega tank. All right, tank dives in. It's the mech on the mountain. Super GG. There's the resign. Well played, well played. The I kind of liked Matemon's opening. I think the super really hurt. I might have been feeling just in an awkward spot up till that point. But you can see how devastating it can be when you just kind of use the Drake super like you would in other matchups. Front shifting is good. And SonjaTheSuperior stopped the base race, or the HQ race. Well done, well done. So I'm going to call the stream there. I've got to get going. I hope people enjoyed the new setup we've got here. The chat seemed to be doing okay. You don't see your YouTube chats up here? Okay, maybe it's not doing too great. We'll see what we can do about that. I can still see your chats, even if the chat widget refuses to do its job. Anyway, I hope people enjoyed. I guess I'll try and keep this up with going Twitch and YouTube, give people the options. Apple! Yes. Get your apple for the day, not for the night, for the day. The chat did freeze. Yeah, you guys can't see that. I can go like that. Bring the fake chat back, and you guys can see the whole thing. I might just try and figure out a different way of implementing this chat, and we can stick with this direct feed. See if I can find a nice overlay or something. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice day.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's his thing.